Yo, we back at it again, folks.
Today we
My homie Joe, freshest anime. What's he doing? Dominating the legacy of Silent Suzuka reaction. As my homie Magneto says, let the kings go first. That's not how he says. The kings always go first. That's not what he said either. He actually said that the pawns go first. I just can't disrespect the homie because look at my man's subscriber base. It's 135,000, man. I remember when this homie was at 70,000, and we used to just chop it up. And then he's growing. This man's a heavyweight in there. But the serious thing is, when I'm looking for stuff to react to, and in this particular case, I did this with Lord of the Mysteries. I already know if he covered it, then it's not spoiler. It's not. And there was a Lord of Mysteries video that he covered, and his community already told him what to skip in it, so he didn't get spoiled. So I'm like, oh, if he's watching it, it's spoiler free, and I can jump into it. We good. Let's talk about Silent Suzuka before we jump into it. She really grew on to me. She's kind of a quiet type, and I'm still new to the Uma Musume fandom, and I was expecting the trope where this girl was gonna be mean a special week, but she really wasn't. That being said, the show isn't really toxic, and whenever there's that little beef or tension, is quickly like de-escalated, and it was just in the spirit of competition, and folks move on to like friendly competition. They want to see you there so they can beat you, kind of a thing. I love that about the show, and what that does, in my opinion, is it makes every single girl a star. You know who I also have to watch? There's a girl like Uma, whatever. But the point is, there's a girl with pink hair, and she loses everything. The real horse lost every race. And I'm a fan of hers because she lost. When you know the backstory a little bit, because I know a little bit about it. When you know the backstory and everything that the world and all the lore around it, it makes that character more interesting too. So the point, because I went on a rant. All these girls are main characters, especially because of the horses that they're based off of. This is like a show where there's Superman, there's Batman, there's Flash, there's Wonder Woman, there's Green Lantern, there's Wolverine, there's Spider-Man, there's Cyclops. Yeah, I'm using other comics that are not in the same universe because they all could be their own face of a comic, but we put them on a superhero team. But we have a competitive show. And I appreciate that about this show. I've never experienced anything like that. Do I love toxicity? Absolutely. But can I appreciate a breath of fresh air so I can get right back to toxicity later, elsewhere, maybe? Yeah, a breath of fresh air is always good. It's like cold water right after a workout. And you're going to get right back to the workout. Phenomenal water with electrolytes. Oh, you don't even see what I'm pointing at. Yo, this AI is incredible, by the way, because all you see is my fist. But this is water bottle. Incredible once it's off my body. Shout out to Nvidia. Buy stock. Ooh, I own stock. I can't tell you financial advice.
we are checking out a YouTube video, Uma related content. This is the dominating legacy of Silent Suzuka, one of the main characters
What's up with the
of
beard,
season
Joe?
1 of Uma Musume, who super fast, but then gets injured, goes to America.
Wait, why am I watching this? This is not what I actually want to watch. I'm so sorry. I'm actually trying to watch what he is watching. But if I can be honest with you, Joe got some nice eyes. And I was like, yo, Joe, he actually has some pretty eyes. I was just analyzing this dude. And nah, I'm not gay, but
a common theme in
real
Uma
recognize
Musume
real.
is inspiration of past generations. In previous videos, we've covered the inspiration of Tokai Teo by Symboli Rudolph, a nod to real-life events.
I see why you guys support Joe, though. I was equally intrigued. I don't know how long I could have went before I realized I was watching the wrong video.
And a source of motivation for Teo to try her absolute best. In doing so, Teo would inspire the main characters of Season 3, Kita-san Black and Satono Diamond. Though their stories will be saved for future videos to come, today I wanted to focus on a Season 1 fan favorite from the anime, one who inspired Special Week and became her closest friend.
Special Week!
Just like all Umas, this story is based on real-life events. This is a story of Silent Suzuka, the runaway from another dimension who dominated the race course. Silent Suzuka was born on May 1st, 1994,
look at the green.
In the town of
that whole outfit.
Hokkaido. Just like our previous video with Tokai Teo, Silent Suzuka was a stallion with a legacy continued on from his sire. Suzuka's sire
Oh, it doesn't tell you what I'm listening to. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, I guess I have to talk in order for the gate to be open. Oh, that's so interesting how the noise gate did. That kind of wasted your time. All right.
There was Sunday Silence, an American racehorse who retired with a total of 10 races, with the lowest placement being second out of all of them. Interestingly, despite being a horse from the United States, Sunday Silence would find himself venturing to Japan. Several factors played a role in Sunday Silence's transfer to Japanese soil. At the time, Sunday Silence was named Horse of the Year in 1989 after winning the Kentucky Derby. Due to the dominating record of Sunday's career, it caught the attention of Zenga Yoshida, a prominent Japanese breeder who had already invested in Sunday Silence. Arthur Hancock III, the owner of the farm Sunday Silence was born on, was struggling with financial difficulties at the time. Due to this, and lack of interest from American breeders, Yoshida would claim ownership of Sunday Silence, taking him back to Japan. This wasn't to race Sunday, but instead to make him a breeding stud for future race horses. Low interest was also present in America due to an injury Sunday sustained following his retirement. Ironically, the same decorated horse who has met with skepticism from American breeders would lead to be one of the most successful sires for the future of Japanese horse racing.
Wow.
Silent Suzuka would debut on February 1st, 1997 in Kyoto. Suzuka would take first place in this race, catching the eye of spectators with his debut. This wasn't a normal victory that people would see from a maiden race, but instead a complete blowout. Silent Suzuka would win this 1600-meter race by 7 whole lengths, a dominating performance of speed on a turf-based racecourse. Even from an early age, Suzuka showed promise on turf-based tracks. This race would make Silent Suzuka a fan favorite. However, unlike his maiden debut, the remainder of the year wouldn't be so impactful. Over the following races that Suzuka would participate in, ranging from March 2nd, 1997 to December 14th, 1997, we'd see Suzuka experience highs and lows of his racing career. Suzuka would only win 2 of the 8 following races, with the lowest placement being 15 at the Mile Championships in Kyoto. This, surprisingly enough, is all too common for Japanese racehorses. As I've stated in previous videos, the odds of a horse winning a race at all is already slim to begin with. Most horses don't even reach 10 total races in their career, let alone persevere past that point. Suzuka's 1997 race history has a multitude of factors that led to losing the race. In the Yayoi Sho, Suzuka's second race, on March 2nd, 1997, Suzuka would go under the gate before the race started, shaking the jockey and resulting in a low placement. After a sequence of 2 wins following the Yayoi
Suzuka was not playing.
Suzuka would go under the gate before the race started.
The horse don't want to do it. Like, yo, I don't want to do this. I ain't here to bring any shade, but it's like, that makes me feel bad for the animal, you know? It's like, I don't want to do this. And we look at it, oh, they're refusing to participate. That homie want to be on a green pasture somewhere. Shout out to my homie Spirit. If you watch Disney movies, you know what I'm talking about.
After a sequence of 2 wins following the Yayoi Sho, Suzuka's new aim...
I actually just want to throw out there, just real quick, the personas of my characters that in the story that I'm writing, give you guys little teasers along the way. I use animals to not really base their personality on, but it just kind of helps me when I'm trying to understand their character. So, for example, someone might be a lone wolf. The story will never, ever say this person is a wolf. It won't really do that. Maybe I'll drop a little stuff. It was like you know, like Easter eggs. Like whenever this person's around, they eat out of, I don't know, wolf mugs, or you know, they happen to like dogs or things like that. So it's like, and if I do that for the various characters, so the wise one, you know, owl. Okay, so my main character, hers is actually a horse, and that would be her spirit animal, so to speak. But it's never mentioned. At least as far as book 1 goes. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of the idea. But as far as book 1 goes, it's never mentioned. And it's like, what is that for? It's for being wild, you know, untamed, powerful. Because I don't look at horses as like a victim. Like, you know, they could be prey, but they're also very powerful animals. And it's all about trying to tame them. But you can never tame them. But, you know, obviously you can. But you get what I'm saying. That the horse model as the avatar, so to speak, impacts the writing that you do with that character. Someone who is, in the author's mind, representing a lone wolf there's things you could do. A wolf can be part of the pack, a wolf can be solo. Owl, wise, only show up at nighttime. You know what I'm saying? The lion, prideful. You know, those kinds of things.
Would be the Tokyo Yushun, or
So
the
anyways, I just wanted
Japanese
you guys to
Yayoi
know that
Sho,
I actually I respect horses, even though I'm not
resulting in a low placement.
naturally a person who watches
After a
horse racing.
sequence of 2 wins following the Yayoi Sho, Suzuka's new aim would be the Tokyo Yushun, or the Japanese Derby. Unfortunately, Suzuka would once more fall short of victory,
Damn,
placing
Suzuka.
9th overall. At Suzuka's following race, the Kobe Shimbunhai, he showed promise, hanging towards the front until the home stretch. This seeming victory would be thwarted by Matikane Fukukitaru, who would overtake Suzuka in the final spurt. In the 2
Damn.
races that followed, Suzuka would change jockeys from Hiroyuki Uemura, who'd been with Suzuka since his debut, to Hiroshi Kawachi. Hiroyuki would express his grievance with Suzuka failing to cooperate with his instructions. Over the course of multiple races, Suzuka would not respond well to his jockey's commands. This change will result in 2 more low placements for Suzuka. Just like with Hiroyuki, Kawachi also faced similar issues when trying to work with Suzuka as well. Silent Suzuka would prove to be difficult to work with for yet another jockey, resulting in another set of low placements in future races, these being the Autumn Tenno Sho and the Mile Championships held in 1997. In addition to the jockey's difficulty to cooperate with Suzuka, his racing style was also not yet refined as well. Silent Suzuka had an odd racing style where he'd advance to the front of the pack only to lose steam and fall behind as the race continued. Following these string of defeats, Kawachi would be replaced by Yutaka Take, the jockey who, for all but one future race, would be by Suzuka's side as his racing career continued into 1998. This would be the point where Suzuka would go from an average racehorse to one of the greatest horses to ever emerge from Japan.
Crazy.
In the anime,
What a story.
Silent Suzuka changes teams from Team Riel to Team Spica, a nod to the exchange of jockeys Suzuka would experience in his real career. In the anime, it is stated that Suzuka disobeyed orders by ignoring her instructions to conserve energy, causing a rift between the trainer and Uma. Another parallel between the anime and real-life events are the circumstances leading up to Suzuka's transfer. The jockeys previous to Take, reflected in Team Riel, would not understand how to fully harmonize with Silent Suzuka, leaving untapped potential yet to be seen. Suzuka's transfer to Yutaka Take, reflected in her transfer to Team Spica, would showcase the true potential that Silent Suzuka had, and the perseverance to bring out the absolute best of his racing capabilities.
There you go.
Season 1 of Uma Musume highlights Suzuka's dominating maiden debut and the final 2 races of his career, these being the Mainichi Okan and the Autumn Tenno Sho in 1998. In addition to these 2 highlighted races, 1998 would prove to be a dominating year for Silent Suzuka. In the 5 previous races Suzuka participated in, he'd placed first in every single one.
Oh, damn.
Not only this, but in addition to these dominating victories, 2 would be record-setting times.
Oh, wow.
Suzuka's win streak in 1998 would also lead to a surge of interest in Japanese horse racing overall. The period in which Suzuka raced would be dubbed as the Golden Age for race horses, with Suzuka being a major driving factor in revitalizing the popularity of the sport. Suzuka wasn't.
Yo, what a come-up story, man. Yo, we start off with Suzuka basically being like average, fam. Ain't listening to nobody. Then we get to this point, now my man Suzuka is dominating.
Only winning races, but doing so by a wide margin against his competitors.
Good for you,
This
Suzuka.
would earn Suzuka the title of being the runaway from another dimension, and on May 30th, 1998, that title would prove fitting for Silent Suzuka.
Nice.
At this point, Suzuka remained as an undefeated racehorse for 3 consecutive races in a row, these being the Valentine Stakes,
Look at
Nakayama
the
Kinen,
distance.
and the Kokura Daishin, where Suzuka would set a record time. Popularity for Suzuka had already skyrocketed, resulting in high favor for Suzuka to win the upcoming G2 race. Despite Suzuka's popularity, the pool of horses he'd compete against were a very strong roster in their own regard. Suzuka would be put against multiple racehorses with winning streaks of their own, most notably Taiki Eldorado and Midnight Bet. For context, the Kinko Sho, the race Suzuka would participate in, had a record time of 2 minutes 1.4 seconds. This meant that in order to ensure victory, Suzuka would need to at least cross the finish line by the 2-minute mark. No one would expect just how much lower Suzuka would set this time. Suzuka's running style is a gamble in itself, a risky method that has a horse sprint at full speed right out of the gate. Utilization of this technique, dubbed as the runaway method, were
Runaway
used by
method.
horses who either dislike physical fights or had a strong desire to run ahead of the pack. For Silent
Just like
Suzuka,
physical fights.
his reason would be the latter. Despite the risky method, Suzuka remained at the front of the pack by a large margin. This race will result in Suzuka's final time being 1 minute and 57 seconds, with
What?
Midnight Bet, the second place recipient, clocking in a time of 1 minute and 59 seconds.
Wow, I
Silent
don't think y'all
Suzuka-
know how long 2 seconds is, man. And when we're talking about the best of the best of the best, I mean, when we're looking at Olympic times, I mean, it's like a half a second that's really defining them. And then the distance in a half a second is
That
crazy.
has set a dominating record time, beating Bet by distance, with the official documentation stating by
Wow.
11 horse lengths. This
There
victory
you
would
go.
solidify Suzuka's 4th consecutive win in 1998. On July 12th of the same year, Suzuka would compete in the Takarazuka Kinen, a G1 race that would truly test Suzuka's fighting spirit. Up until this point in his career, Suzuka had yet to claim a victory in a G1 competition, with the previous 4 victories being either G2 or G3 races. This race would also prove difficult due to Take being unable to jockey Suzuka. Originally, due to the distance of the Takarazuka Kinen, Silent Suzuka's handler would opt to not race him and instead plan to set the goal of winning the autumn Tenno Sho later on in the year. Due to this, Take would instead jockey Air Groove for the Takarazuka Kinen. This was the plan, until by sudden request of Suzuka's owner, he was suddenly registered for the G1 race.
Oh,
Due to the short time between registration and the race day, Suzuka was paired with Katsumi Minai. Worry quickly circulated due to Suzuka's history of previous handlers,
Yeah.
and if he'd be able to squeeze a victory with Katsumi as his jockey.
Yeah.
Luckily for Suzuka, Katsumi was a well-seasoned jockey, who had worked with multiple famous racehorses, most notably Tamamo Cross and Oguri Cap. Even with the new
Oh, yo, that's damn. Okay, respect is instantly sealed. I was sealed in Tomomo Cross, and then they mentioned Oguri Cap. Damn.
jockey, Suzuka would manage to claim a victory for his 5th consecutive race in a row. Katsumi had later recounted that it was as if the horse ran on his own. The harmonization between jockey and racehorse was clearly present, and Katsumi highly rated Suzuka's overall capabilities
Oh.
on the racetrack. By this point, Suzuka was able to control his pace much more effectively, reducing the probability of running out of stamina mid-race.
Cool.
Suzuka would instead sprint at high speed right out of the gate, slow down and regain stamina midway through, and
Regain
spurt on the
stamina.
final straight, with this
I
being
see.
the final G1 victory for Katsumi Minai.
The concept of running your fastest and then slowing down, still fighting to build stamina is fascinating to me, because that's also something I'm trying to work on in boxing, where you have your little exchange, and then you got to still keep moving. You can't just stop and get your breath. You still got to be moving and trying to recover your stamina and getting right back into it. And there's like training with getting your heart rate to go low and then making it jump right back up. Low, jumping it right back up. That's fascinating. The idea of being in constant motion and still getting back stamina. Last thing, I remember when my homie Goku was doing it in in Dragon Ball Z Super, and I thought it was unrealistic at the time until I started doing boxing, and now I'm watching this video. I'm like, yeah, I guess you really can collect that stamina even while you're fighting. That's insane to me. Whatever.
He retired shortly after the Takarazuka Kinen, aiding Suzuka to maintain his chain of first-place finishes. Following the Takarazuka Kinen, Suzuka would participate in the Mainichi Crown, as stated previously, a race that was showcased in Uma Musume Season 1. Silent Suzuka will be put once more against a set of strong competitors. In this race, most notably, Grass Wonder and El Condor Pasa. This race was broadcasted to over 130,000 people, despite it being a G2 race. As personified in the anime, Silent Suzuka would once more show clear domination in this race, beating both Grass Wonder and El Condor Pasa by a decent margin.
Condors,
In post-interviews held with Pasa's jockey, he He would state that it was as if he couldn't even step on Suzuka's shadow, showcasing
Couldn't
the
even
sheer
step on the
strength that
shadow.
Suzuka had to
Wow.
maintain a lead over strong competitors. This victory would mark Suzuka's 6th consecutive win in 1998, but would have much deeper meaning to Japanese horse racing. At the time, there was an order in place to protect Japan's domestic horse racing industry. A rule had been established preventing foreign imported horses from participating in G1 races. This was to avoid the now common practice of purchasing overseas horses for a cheap price that displayed strong pedigrees and racing potential. Both El Condor Pasa and Grass Wonder were product of this practice. The fear was present that with an influx of foreign horses,
That's why. Am I tripping? Is that why El Condor got that American accent kind of a thing? Where is she? Where is he from? But in the anime, there's an American accent. I think there's something about it. Or maybe I'm not because El Condor is a Spanish name. Oh well. Director always talks about an American accent, but the name is El Condor. So
the reputation of Japanese ranches would plummet, as well as the training methods native to the Japanese people. Silent Suzuka would shatter these notions with his dominating victory at the Mainichi Okan, proving once more that horses born and raised in Japan could very well be fierce competitors in their own regard. This victory would serve as an opportunity to lift the ban on foreign horses participating in G1 races. Silent Suzuka's career was at an all-time high, but unfortunately, this would be where his luck would run out. With a staggering growth in popularity and thousands of adoring fans, Silent Suzuka will participate in the Autumn Tenno Sho. Suzuka had previously participated in the Autumn Tenno Sho a year prior. However, he had an unremarkable placement, finishing 6th overall. This time, Yutaka Take and Suzuka went into the race with high spirits, ready to show the audience yet another dominating victory. This would mark Suzuka's 7th consecutive win overall if he were to place first in this race. At the start of the race, as the anime and real footage showcased, Suzuka wasn't only in the lead, but was in the lead by an incredibly large margin. The JRA race footage shows that Suzuka was so far in front of the pack that even a wide shot of all the competitors could barely capture Suzuka's staggering lead. This was met with cheers for Suzuka to set yet another dominant victory once more. However, as Suzuka continued to run, everything suddenly changed. Suzuka began to decelerate, slowly grinding to a halt as his competitors passed him. In the anime, Suzuka also runs irregularly, as if she lost her balance and tempo. Mid-race, Suzuka had fractured his left front leg, rendering him unable to finish the race. An injury mid-race can be dangerous for both the horse and their jockey. An example of this would be Rice Shower's mid-fracture causing his jockey, Matoba, to sustain injury with the fall. Suzuka, despite being injured, didn't topple and fall, but instead, as Take describes, it was as if Suzuka had attempted to protect him, trying all he could to not cause Take injury with a high-speed tumble. Race records for Suzuka show that he did not finish this race, and instead was transported off the racetrack for further examination. Later analysis of this footage revealed that this injury could have been avoided. It seemed as though Suzuka had run faster than his body could handle, and the repeated stress on his leg finally gave way. In the anime, we see Silent Suzuka begin to recover from these injuries and eventually return to the track once again. But this is all to pay respect to Silent Suzuka's legacy. It's common belief that horses will rebel and buckle if they feel threatened, or accelerate irregularly if their jockeys can't control them. This, however, was not the case for Suzuka. Take and Suzuka had an extensive history together, and encountered little to no conflict when on the race course. Even recounts from Take revealed that Suzuka didn't show any signs of irregularity in behavior, he just accelerated on his own. This led many to believe that Suzuka simply wanted to see how fast he could go, which, once more, is clearly personified in Uma Musume. Unfortunately, at the age of 4 years old, Silent Suzuka, due to his injury in the Autumn Tenno Sho, would be euthanized, ending a career with an undefeated year of racing. Unsurprisingly, this event came as a major shock to fans of Japanese horse racing. A Fuji TV announcer's phrase,
why does he have to be euthanized?
the
If they
Sunday
don't
of
tell me, I'm
silence,
gonna look it up at the
would
end.
become the symbol of this
Why
tragedy.
does the horse have to be
The
euthanized?
Autumn Tenno Sho would take place on November 1st,
I mean, I get that they can't race anymore, possibly, but the euthanized part?
1998, which fell on a Sunday. This phrase, the Sunday of Silence, would pay respects to the day of Suzuka's passing, and also the legacy that he came from, being
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not just to be clear. I knew that Silent Suzuka was euthanized and it didn't go the way the anime did, like with another race. But you're still when you sometimes like when someone explains something, I'll go, but why? And then people will go, they just explain to you. So, anyways, sometimes I'll know something, but I'm still shocked once I see it played out. So I didn't see what I would think is the definitive part. Like, they didn't tell me that femurs don't regrow. Like, they didn't say anything other than injured, euthanized. Like, god damn, I've seen three-legged dogs. You see what I'm saying? I'm operating at a level that, like, that can't be it. So I'll say this is a perfect example. The horse got its leg. They said the horse injured its leg. Now the horse is euthanized. I'll say, yo, why'd they euthanize the horse? And then you'll go, they just told you the horse got his foot injured. I'm like, that's not a reason to euthanize him in my world. You see what I'm saying? Again, why did they euthanize the horse? They just told you the leg was injured. That's not a reason. To me, that's your reason. That's what happens. It happens all the time. I don't know how to express this. I need to stop saying why. I need to say, like, really? That's crazy. What a conclusion that you guys have come to. Then people won't be like, okay, just explain to you. I know. I read it. We were both reading the same thing. But why?
being an offspring of Sunday's silence. To many, see that
I don't
he
even know what we're
came
talking about
from will
anymore.
pay respects to the day of Suzuka's passing, and also the legacy that he came from, being an offspring of Sunday's silence.
Wow.
To many, Suzuka's abrupt death was one of the biggest what-ifs in horse racing history. Suzuka had finally found a style which suited him, a jockey who he trusted dearly, and had gained the adoration of thousands. All these achievements alongside the prospect of even more wins snuffed out in an instant. Uma Musume did a great job with showcasing Suzuka's legacy in the anime. As mentioned earlier, instead of simply writing Suzuka out of the series, she instead remains a motivator for Special Week and the rest of Team Spica. Uma Musume tends to shy away from creating scenarios that didn't occur in real-life records, but instead aim to honor the legacy that was left behind by racehorses who met an abrupt end. Silent Suzuka and Rise Shower are both examples of this. Although they still exist in the series, their stories have ended long ago. A touching legacy
That's
hidden in
wonder.
the anime is Special Week and Suzuka's friendship. This is a nod to Take's following race in the autumn Tenno Sho, where alongside Special Week, Take would bring home a first-place finish a year after Suzuka's tragic incident. A touching legacy displayed by a tight bond that these two Uma share while training in Tracen Academy. Suzuka's legacy is
I
also
see.
highlighted in Uma Musume Pretty Derby, where the final race in her career before the Ura finale is the autumn Tenno Sho, giving players a chance to allow her to finish a race that she never would.
Aww.
The impact of Suzuka's death hit people incredibly hard. A recount from Junko Hosoe, a race commentator who also appears in Uma Musume, states that people flooded the phone lines of the JRA Tokyo racecourse, all inquiring if Suzuka
wonder-
was okay. Amazingly, the JRA did not turn these callers away. The internet wasn't as widespread at this time, so instead, the JRA spent the entire day relaying Suzuka's situation to concerned fans, urging them to pray for Suzuka's swift recovery. Suzuka's passing also led to the creation of memorials and even a dedicated song to honor him. This song is entitled Tenma no Yoni, like a Pegasus. Today,
Like a
fans of
Pegasus.
Suzuka can visit the Chukyo racecourse to honor and pay respects to his legacy, a racehorse who redefined Japanese horse racing and left behind a string of triumphant victories, personified in Uma Musume by a diligent Uma with a deep compassion for her friends and a drive to always give it her all. This was the story of Silent Suzuka, a career which ended abruptly, but will leave behind a legacy that would inspire future generations to come. Who should I cover?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. Stock and the best run months. All right, so let's look up why did they euthanize? Yeah, Google knows exactly what I'm here to ask. It's gonna say because their leg was injured. was euthanized due to a severe leg fracture. That's what it is. It's severe. The injury is deemed too severe for the horse to recover and continue racing. Euthanasia was chosen to prevent further suffering, according to the horse racing wiki. The injury was significant, and vets determined that if the leg were to heal, it would not be suitable for racing again. Well, it doesn't have to race, but it can just like walk around the pasture. Due to the severity of the injury and the poor prognosis, the decision was made to euthanize Silent Suzuka to prevent further suffering. While some horses can recover from leg fractures, the specific injury and the potential for further complications, especially given the demands of racing, led to a decision to euthanize the horse. I'm going to tell you, I feel like Silent Suzuka could have just been a regular horse. Yeah, but they just, oh, it can't be suited for racing, so they just put the horse down. Couldn't silence. Why couldn't Silent Suzuka live as a normal horse? See what it says. I know I spent Suzuka wrong. And I spelled horse wrong. I couldn't silence Suzuka. Silent Suzuka, the following injury was diagnosed as poor. Following the injury, Silent Suzuka was diagnosed with poor prognosis, meaning the likelihood of him recovering and living a normal life as a horse was very low. Due to the severity of the injury and the pain he was experiencing, the difficult decision was made to humanely euthanize him at the age of 4. In general, severe leg injuries to racehorses can lead to complications such as support limp, where the horse shifts weight to the other legs, causing pain and inflammation, and difficulty healing due to the horse's large body mass and the need to bear weight. Recovery can be complex and challenging, and unfortunately, euthanasia is sometimes deemed the most human option in cases of severe and irreparable injuries to prevent further suffering. I got it. That's tough, man. I don't even know that horse. Dang. All right, folks. Well, I am going to get going. Thanks for checking out today's video. You know, shout out to the homie Silent Suzuka. This video ended sad, man. Nah, I had nothing to say. It's actually just a sad video. Bye, guys. Guys, quick reality check for the collective, which is you, our audience. That's my nickname for the Rock family. We're hitting 1.5 million views on a monthly basis, and that's iconic. But 71% of you guys haven't subscribed yet. That's almost 1 million people who are watching, but not subscribed. Now, if just 10% of those viewers hit the subscribe button, we would add nearly 100,000 new members to the Rock family, the collective, overnight. That kind of growth would change everything. What? Better content, more variety, higher production value, all the things I read you guys ask for in the comment section. So subscribe. And if you really want to be part of Rock family, you can also turn on all notifications. Thank you.